Episode 49 of Multiplaying is brought to you by Your Shit.
You think your shit doesn't stink, but it does stink. Stinks like shit.
Everybody online, looking good.
A companion podcast to the collaborative blog and gaming community that's playing as life allows. This is Multiplaying.
Well, let's start the insanity.
We have clearance, Clarence. Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Hello?
Great heavens! What kind of radio show is this?
Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to Multiplaying. Tonight on the show we got Jason.
Hello.
John.
Hello.
Myself, Steve. What you drinking, Jason?
Still drinking Coors Light.
Still the same one?
Jason, no.
From a week ago?
It's the second
Okay.
one.
Oh, it's the second one.
Yeah.
You're a light drinker, aren't you?
Still drinking that same drink, huh? It's just not warm by now?
Nursing it.
Yeah.
John, what you drinking?
I'm drinking 100 proof Captain Morgan straight.
Holy shit.
Oh, goddamn. When did you get balls?
Well, you know, all those Mike's Hard Lemonades, they got kind of boring, so I just upped it.
Those were really a gateway drug for you.
Yeah.
He was conditioning himself.
Yeah, all those wine coolers. I was like, fuck wine coolers.
Next week when you ask him, what are you drinking? He's like, well, I'm not drinking anything. I'm just doing heroin.
I'm freebasing.
Yeah.
Yeah. After that, well, I got a couple lines set up, so I figure by the time we finish this shit, I'll be wired.
Back in the background, you just hear him going, "Oh my God, yes, I can touch the sky."
All of a sudden, you just hear.
Speaking of doing lines, I actually just watched RoboCop the other day. Yeah, whenever I think of cocaine now, I think of that scene where the guy's doing coke off of the ladies of the evening.
Yes.
So. And then he gets murdered. Anyways, that's
around where I live.
It is. That's like it happens all the time, doesn't it?
One of my favorite parts of that movie is that car. Isn't it like the 2000 SUX?
It's the 6000, I think,
6,000.
SUX, or maybe it's 2000, whatever. But yeah, it's the SUX. Yeah. Oh God, and it's we could go off on a tangent just talking about RoboCop for the rest of the evening, and I'm sure you would love that. But we'll get into games and drink-wise. I have nothing, so we'll get right into the gameage. John, what have you been playing this week?
Still Fallout New Vegas. I downloaded a couple of radio additions to the game. Which,
yeah?
Yeah, there's some pretty cool ones out there, actually. One is called Conrad Radio. All of these I just got off of File Planet, by the way. They actually released like a radio package now, because I guess there's like four or so. So Conrad has some good music from the era. There's one called like Robot 2.0 Existence something, which is kind of interesting because it's like a shaky robot voice like debating the existence of your life. And then it has some really cool ambient music, and then it comes in and insults you. It's almost like Portal, in a way, where it like
nice.
it makes fun of you, and you know, it's not directly to you in a way, but you know, it's interesting. There's some other ones too that are decent, but there's also an Enclave Radio, which I haven't tried yet, but I would think that would kind of break the story, sort of. But anyway,
Almost makes me wonder if they just took the files from Fallout 3.
Yeah, you know, that might be. I don't know. I haven't seen that one yet, but. Anyway, so then doing that, New Vegas, starting another playthrough. This time I'm going to be an evil douchebag with a different ending, taking it slower. Doing Fallout 3 also, enjoying the storyline. Not at the same time. Like I don't have two windows open. You know?
Oh, that's what you should do.
doing like, all right, 5 minutes on Vegas, 5 minutes on 3, 5 minutes on Vegas, 5 minutes. No. But,
no, map the keyboard to like both of them and play the exact same time. See how many fuck ups you get.
Yes, that'd be good. But so yeah, doing Fallout 3 as a good guy, through the storyline only this time.
Oh, you didn't get did you get any of the downloadable content?
I have the Game of the Year edition technically.
Oh, okay.
Steam on a sale.
Have you done any of that stuff though, or are you just working through the main storyline?
I'm working through the main storyline. I will do the downloadable content at some point, but it really since the New Vegas storyline had me intrigued so much, I really said, okay, I've already done all the exploration of Fallout 3 before. I'm pretty sure I did an insane amount of hours of just exploration. So now I'm like, all right, story. Mm-hmm. So doing that. Also, Red Faction Guerrilla, which was on clearance on Steam a little while back, and I don't like it.
No, I have
mean,
never played it.
It's you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's,
I got it on the sale, I think, for maybe $5 or so a
yeah.
while ago, and I didn't care for it either. I know a lot of people raved about it.
Yeah, I know. That's what I've always been tempted to pick it up on sale, and I ignored it this last time that it was. I think it's the sale that you're talking about. I picked up something else instead, or a couple things. But yeah, I've heard a lot of pretty positive things about the freedom in it, and
Yeah, and that's why I
going
picked it
around
up.
and smashing the shit out of stuff. But
Yeah, and you know what? Actually, I will say that the smashingness, like you can walk around with your hammer, and
smashingness,
the smashingness of it.
That's a term.
That's
We
a
give-
that's a real scientific term there for games.
multiplaying gives smashingness an 8 out of 10.
Yes. So but yeah, so I mean it's good. It gives you a lot of freedom to just basically beat everything up. I mean, the only thing that I kind of don't like about it, which I understand why they didn't do it, was in the other Red factions that I've played, you can actually dig through the world with their various tools, whether it's with rockets if you have that much ammo, or if you want to actually destroy the terrain, you can do that.
Oh, cool.
In this game, you can't, which is kind of strange when it's like, yeah, you're like blowing buildings to smithereens and stuff like that, but if you throw 10 mines on the ground, it doesn't make a scratch. You know what I mean? I don't know. It
Right.
kind of throws it for me. It's a good game, I guess, but I don't know. It's just kind of, I don't know. It's not my style, I guess. I don't know. And also, besides that, well, Jason, you said you played Gorilla, right? What did
I think?
Yeah, like, what's your input on that?
I played for probably a couple hours. I did some missions, and I don't know. I think part of it was a big part. The world did not grab me the way it was laid out. It just seemed the travel was not a lot of fun, and it always seemed like I was chasing moments of fun, to where, like you said, the smashing would be okay, but there was a lot of other stuff that I felt like I had to dick around with, to get to that moment, and it wasn't really, it didn't grab me. It wasn't very engaging.
It's worth $5.
Yeah, I'm like,
There you go.
I guess I didn't feel like I wasn't super pissed, but yeah,
Yeah,
I only
it's-
paid $5 for it, so
Yeah, it's worth what I
You
paid
felt-
for it for sure.
Yeah, you felt that it was a $5 or $10 game basically.
Yeah,
To you, not just like in general, because evidently other people enjoy the game. But
yeah, I
Yeah,
could see playing it. I could see where people would think it was a good game, or I mean, not. I don't want to say think because that's belittling. But I mean, I could see where it wasn't my game. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Is it more of a rigid like how should I put this? Was it more of a rigid like task or mission structure than say like Just Cause 2?
It's sort of like you have like say a variety of things that you can do, but it also says you have to go do this right now and hurry up because if you don't do it, then you lose some influence in the region, and which makes sense because it's sort of like a resistance thing going on. It's like the resistance is fighting the military occupation, but
So
I don't know.
it's like a open world to a degree, but it is guiding you to do certain things.
right, which is fine, but I don't know. It was sort of like I wasn't getting as much fun as I think I should have out of it, so I decided to, typical style me, if I'm not having any fun in a game, I start hacking. So I hacked like infinite explosions or explosives and stuff like that. So I was running around laying like 100 mines on a building, and then be like,
Nice.
all right, detonate, just to see what it would do. And I was kind of having fun with that, so I got a few hours out of it, but ultimately I don't think I'll be booting that up again because it's good, but just not my style.
Gotcha. Play anything else, John?
City of Heroes going rogue for about an hour after
Yeah?
you mentioned it to me.
Today.
I created today, right before this podcast, actually. I made a dual pistols pain domination corruptor.
Nice.
And
See, I was actually someone on Twitter was just trying to help me out as to what to play, because I had on a whim picked up the game yesterday while I was out shopping with my wife. People were on Twitter Wednesday actually talking about the game and the Going Rogue expansion, and it got me interested. So I haven't played the game for
a while.
Couple years maybe. It's been a while since I played it, and I had actually played the game like in beta and like started like day one and played it for a while, but not very heavy, and haven't picked it up since. So yeah, it's quite different now to going back to it. Not, I wouldn't say quite different. It still feels the same, but the going rogue stuff so far feels very different. I hope to talk about it maybe more in depth next week. There's another issue, or basically another update to the game next week, and
which they call issues, like
yes,
issues
which
of
they call
comic
issues.
books.
Yeah, it's issue 19. I don't want to really get into it too much because I don't know jack squat about it.
'Cause we don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah, I have literally, like, I picked up the game yesterday, installed it, and spent about an hour and a half creating my character, and then I spent a half hour playing, and then, like, at work today, I thought, man, I don't want to do that, so then I got home and spent another hour making another character. But I think I'm okay with this one. We'll see how it goes.
So is this still the brute that you were talking about?
Yeah, well, I'd started a scrapper yesterday, and I was like talking with people online, and the one guy had said, "Hey, what are you going to play as?" Or I think I had actually came out and said, "I'm not really sure if I want to go with a scrapper or if I want to do." I can't remember what the other one was that I was thinking of, but he says, "Well, do a brute," and I was like, "Well, I don't know. I kind of want to." I want to do more like melee DPS. I don't want to be more tanky, but evidently they do a lot of DPS, and I wasn't thinking of the right class. But he had said, yeah, I think he had asked what I had played before, and I told him a defender, and he said, well, if you want to kind of like do something totally opposite of that, be a corruptor. And I was like, I don't know. But then I ended up, when I got home, I was like, I really want to be in there and actually fighting things, so I rolled a brute. So
Yeah, brute's good because it's the halfway point between a tank and a scrapper.
yeah.
So it's like it starts off, they have more survivability than a scrapper, a little bit, and then as the fight goes on, they do more and more and more damage. It's kind of like the snowball effect with their like
Right.
rage bar or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
So it works out pretty good. I think they
Yeah.
end up getting when a full rage bar, you get like 300% damage bonus from your starting hit,
Damn.
something like that. So it's good. It's nice.
So yeah, well, hopefully I'll be able to talk a little bit more next week with actually knowing what the hell I'm talking about, because I literally have only been in the game for like a half hour. So next week. But yeah, have you actually been playing any of the new Going Rogue content yet?
I started, like, I didn't spend a lot of time making the character since
Okay.
I spent like 5 years playing the game. I didn't want to
Right.
actually like sit and create a character because I could spend like 2 hours creating a character and getting a bio and all that kind of stuff. So I was just like, all right, female, suit, dual pistols, go. I was like,
Good enough.
I was like, here we go. She's got a tuxedo and a fedora, dual pistols, and pain domination. Good with it. I was just like, all right, get in.
Yeah, there's
And-
quite a bit more customization than I remember in the game. So
Well, because they've continuously added more costume pieces and
Yeah.
costume sets. Even they've actually, added. For anyone that didn't know, they've actually added like presets, a whole variety of presets. There, you didn't used to be presets back in the
No.
day.
I
You
saw
just had-
those and I was flipping through them and I was like, what the hell is this? And then I realized, oh, these are just like pre-made things. I was like, I don't want that. I want to customize it. So
Yeah, exactly. So
Yep,
yeah,
yep.
anyway, I got right into it, and first thing that I noticed was the very first guy I talked to. City Heroes, City Villains used to be a very on-the-rail quest game, pretty much like any other MMO, where it's like,
Right.
here, go do this, go do that. Hooray, yeah, here's my cell phone number. Now you can call me, and blah, 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 all this stuff. Instead of having it run back to me. And the first thing I noticed was the very first contact I got, there was optional dialogue options. And I was like, what's this?
yeah.
And it's basically character development on your own part. Where and the first thing I did, I was like, well, I guess I could play this chick like a bitch, like what? So the guy, first thing he says is, oh, thanks for thanks for coming over here and being part of this weapons division, blah blah blah. I was like, what? I didn't join the weapons division. And he was like, yeah, whatever. And I was like, bullshit, whatever I'm gonna go work for myself. And he's like, yeah. And so in the end, I ended up going for the resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Which at first I was like, yeah, this is really cool. I kind of like this whole, character development. I'm digging it. And then, kind of a downer in a way, the first thing I do right when it's starting to get to the point where I'm like, sweet, I'm part of the resistance now, and the leader is telling me to go do stuff. Then
He
it
tells
says,
you to go
then
be
it
an
says,
inside man.
go undercover
Uh-huh.
and be part of the Praetorians. And I'm like,
Yeah.
are you serious?
Yeah, that's as far as I had got.
I was like, oh, really? Come on. Now the two storylines merge into one again, and who knows when they're going to break off. I don't know.
It sounds like that's the whole theme of it. I hope that it really does give you a lot of option in it, and it's from the way they talked up the game. It sounds like there is like options like everywhere as to like how you want to progress your character, and I hope that that is true because if so, that could be really amazing. That could be like seriously awesome for the game. And I was already kind of hooked in it, but I was also kind of wondering, it's like, well, I wonder how many people actually said no to joining the Resistance at that point. It really makes me wonder because the way they kind of wrote everything out with those guys, the Praetorians, like even the first guys that you're talking to are kind of douchebags.
That's
Am
true.
I right? They kind
true,
of seem like very condescending, and I don't know. They kind of wrote him like, "Yeah, you're gonna want to join those other guys." I don't know. I could be wrong. We'll see how it goes. Maybe that'll.
I know exactly what you're saying. Like they just seem like you don't want to be part of them. It's almost like right off the bat you get rubbed the wrong way.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know.
I'm hoping that maybe there's some story element later on that they will be more convincing of playing for their cause rather than the Resistance. That's my hope, but we'll see.
At the same time, I know that they said you're going to be able to go whichever way you want. Right now, we're part of the Resistance, even though we're supposed to be working undercover for the Praetorians. Yeah. Right now, everything I'm doing, I'm supposedly part of the Resistance, but all of my missions are arresting Resistance people. And I'm like, you'd think that if I was technically part of the Resistance, maybe I could have an option to either just go around them or whatever. But no, it's all, I don't know. I was just kind of disappointed by that. But I mean, like you said, if it branches off really awesomely later on, then it'll all be worth it.
Yeah. We'll see.
Wasn't there a graphic overhaul or improvement in recent past?
There was an addition of ultra level graphics, which I don't know. I don't really have good info on it because I haven't tried it. I don't know if it's optimized yet. I tried putting it on initially, and it just seemed like kind of laggy. So I was like, I'll fiddle with that later because I remember City of Heroes I could put everything on maximum, but if I just adjusted a couple of things certain ways, it would make it run perfect.
Yeah.
But, you know what I'm saying?
The ultra mode stuff is it added a higher water effect. The water effect was a lot nicer.
And shadows.
The shadows. The big thing in Pretoria, I don't know if it's actually applicable in the old worlds of the old hero and villain worlds, but at least in Pretoria it has real-time shadows, like everything does. So if you have ultra set up, that really increases the amount of horsepower that you got to throw at the game because you have real-time shadows on everything. And
on everything, yeah.
It's a little bit higher. I think it's a little bit higher textures. They seem to be a little bit nicer, but I could be wrong. I haven't gone back to the old world to see how that is, but there seems to be more stuff everywhere, like stuff on the sides of the road and everything. There just seems to be more. I can't think of the word.
Decoration,
artifacts and stuff all over the place. So
yeah,
I don't know. I could be wrong, but
yeah, I haven't fiddled with it. So
in an MMO, that seems like the last thing I'd like to crank up is shadows.
True.
That's always a hog in MMOs.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's so many things happening in MMOs. It's like, why would you do that?
I don't have it cranked right now. I think I have it on the one not on ultra, but the one step down on everything, and I'm probably getting around 30 to 40 frames a second. So I can't run it full blast. But my computer is about 2.5 years old at this point, so.
Right.
Yeah. Mine's about a year old. I haven't tried it yet though.
So. All right, but is that all you've been playing, John?
That pretty much covers it. I haven't got anything new yet. No Steam sales lately, so though probably the next couple weeks we'll start hearing about new games.
Yeah, those are a bitch. We need to do a show sometime where we run through all the stuff we bought on Steam.
Yeah. We'll have it the Steam show sale. The Steam sale show.
Yeah.
What?
And just break it down. That would
Just
be
be like,
interesting.
just talk about everything we bought. Haven't played any of it yet, but that's what I got.
See, like last year I had only bought in a couple things, and it was because there was always really good stuff over the holidays that I wanted, but it was stuff that was so good that I was always like, oh man, I wonder if they're going to put this game on sale or this one. I'm going to hold out because I'm only going to be able to buy a couple things, and I want to see if they put that on sale. And there was a couple times where I got blasted on that I kind of like didn't buy. I think BioShock 2 is one of them that I didn't buy because it was like 14 or 15 bucks on the sale, and it was like just not that old of a game at the time. I was like, maybe because I really wanted Dawn of War 2, and then I was holding out on other shit, and then I ended up not getting what I wanted. So, but anyways, Jason, what have you been playing?
Some more. I kind of I haven't played a whole lot. With the news of I played a little bit of my T4 dock last weekend, and then today I played some with the recent news of the 1.4, which we'll talk about later, coming out. I went back to my T1 Magoose Magus and played some of that, and I'm probably going to go pretty hardcore when that comes out, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah, I had done the same thing. I played, I think, last weekend a bunch on my Marauder, and after the weekend, after I got like renown rank like 33 or 34 or whatever it was, I'd kind of said, okay, 1.4 is going to be here probably within the next few weeks. I didn't know when at the time. So I was just like, you know what, I think I'm going to step back and not get myself too burnt out, and I'm going to end up buying the RVR pack anyways, so I'm going to get that bonus to my renown, so I didn't really want to, why am I putting all this work in it right now when I'm going to be getting a bonus to that after I get the pack?
Just wait a week and work.
Yeah, I'll just wait. So I just kind of stepped back and started playing some other stuff. But so what have you been playing with that?
Besides that?
Yeah, besides War.
Well, I decided, we had talked a long time ago about the new Xbox systems coming out, and I was kind of always thinking, okay, I have a system that I've turned in 3 times, had repaired, and my warranty was up. So I looking into buying one of the new systems. So and trading mine in before Red Ring, so I could get the trade-in value for it.
Right.
Yeah. And I also had the wireless Microsoft adapter. So I was, okay, I got a lot of things I can put towards something. Cause the new
I like that it's not like if it red rings. I like how we all talk about how it's like before it red rings.
Well, the crazy thing is, this last system I got, I mean, it's been super quiet, way quieter than my PS3. It's like, okay, they finally got it right when my warranty went out. I guess that's good. But I went ahead and traded in and got one of the new bundles with the Kinect. So I got Kinect.
The new slim ones.
The black slim one.
Okay, got it.
And I got Kinect with it, so I've been playing a lot of Kinect this week. So
wait, before you get into the Kinect games, when you took the Xbox in, and they saw how old it was, what is he like? This thing's not red ringed? Was he like surprised that it wasn't?
No, he did tell me though. He's like, the back's been kind of opened. Like we're not gonna be able to give you the full value. And I said,
what?
I got that straight from Microsoft. And he talked to his manager, and they went ahead and gave me the full value. They were going to take something off of it because of that.
Because they were assuming that you fidgeted with it.
Yes, exactly. They're like, oh, you jacked this open, so we can't give you the full price. And I go to that GameStop a lot, so they knew me, and I said something to them like, no, this is I got it from Microsoft. I avoided saying it was a replacement system because it wasn't my system that I originally bought. I could tell because of the license stuff.
Right.
But so they gave me the full trade-in value and everything, and I went ahead and got Kinect and a couple other games.
Okay.
So Kinect tech-wise, I was really, really impressed with what it can do. Some of the things that I had heard about and saw, I was like really eager to see what it could do, and I'm really impressed with how low light the thing can handle. I expected to have the lights just cranked and it telling me I needed more light because that's kind of what I was prepared for. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And
Well,
and
that's what all the anti-hype said. You know, it's like, oh, you need all the light, blah blah blah.
yeah, and I first played it at night, and it picked up almost everything I did. And the sign-in stuff is really cool. Like, for example, I was playing one of the games, which I'll get into in a minute, with my son, and we both have our profiles. Shannon and I created one for him, and we were taking turns playing the bowling, and it would identify which one of us was up there, and it
Wow.
would switch to that avatar for that. And I thought, okay, that's really, really cool. And some of the games I was playing, as soon as I walked away, like to take a break, it would pause and say, like, okay, we'll see you in a second or something like that. And
Wow.
and as soon as you walk back in, it will go back from sleep mode and say, like, okay, are you ready? So that stuff's really cool. And one thing that because
That's almost scary, though.
it is kind of scary. Like, okay, what the fuck is it picking up?
You leave it on one night and come back out the next morning. It's like, where have you been, Jason?
Yes, yeah, it's like 2001.
Actually, it's funny you guys mentioned that because have you seen the articles on what is it, Connect Sports taking pictures of you while you're playing?
No.
There was an article on Reddit that someone was posting desperately, how do I delete pictures from Connect Sports because I got hot and started playing naked? And it takes pictures of you while you play, which is fine.
It discards them, though, I think.
It does discard them. You can set it to discard, but they started freaking out because they had sharing options.
Oh.
Right? So I don't know if it was a guy or a chick or
Merry
whatever.
Christmas, Mom.
Yeah, so if you can imagine, like, you get online and it's like, oh, come see, it's like an automatic sharing option. You go on to see.
C-O-M-E.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
A lot of there's 2 games I have that do that take pictures randomly and then kind
As
of
you're
show
going.
you. Yeah, but I think they're pretty well guarded off. Like, you have to directly tell it, put this to something or publish it to something.
Right, yeah. It's not that it just automatically sends it
It
to
freaks
Facebook.
you out, though, yeah, because I played in my underwear, so what,
yeah, then it shows you and you're like, discard.
The biggest part of that is like, oh god, that's what I look like. That's terrible.
You're like,
I really
why is
need
my
this-
face like that?
I really need the ear shape.
Yeah, which I do have, so I'm good.
How is that?
I really like that game. That was one of the biggest things when I was looking into Connect, besides the other motion, whatever, because I've done a lot of EA Active and Wii Fit. And EA Active I really, really liked, and I did that for about a year straight. And I felt like it was a really good thing for me to do. But one of the biggest issues was, okay, I hate the strap. And not to be gross, but by the end of that year, that strap just reeked like ass. Like... It smelled like a sink at the Waffle House.
Oh.
Like, it was totally gross. So I'm like, okay, something that doesn't require any of that has a lot of potential. And it really is cool. It does this really cool matrix effect. I don't know if you guys have seen any of the video of it. Of, like, besides showing... It doesn't show your actual physical body. It shows, like, a computer-generated outline of yourself.
Okay.
So, and then it shows the trainer next to you, and it has a little box next to the trainer and has a box next to you. And if you do everything in step with them, it shows you as being, like, synced up. But it always shows a kind of, like, matrixy looking person for you. And as soon as you walk out, that's the one game I was talking about. You'll be doing exercise, and it'll tell you to move on to the next one. If you need to go get a drink of water or whatever, it'll completely pause. But, like, when you walk out of the area that it's scanning you, it looks like your computer generated person explodes. So it's a really cool effect. And I'm sitting there working out, and one of my dog walks in, and you can totally see a computer generated dog walking
No
into the
shit.
screen. Yeah, it completely resembles him. And I'm like, god damn it, he'll get out of here. And then he walks out, and he explodes. Looks like he died. So presentation wise, it's a really, really cool thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of polish in the games I've played so far.
Yeah, that goes back to the developers, though. You got to give props to them for actually utilizing the software, utilizing everything that it can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the things I've been comparing it a lot to Move because I mean it's pretty natural comparison.
Of course, yes.
Yeah. One of the things that I really, really like about Connect versus that is, especially on a workout game, I have a living room where I don't know if you guys have any of these issues. There's certain parts of the floors that I can't just run on because it will totally creak the house, and we have a basin underneath us. So there's certain parts of the floors that I move to naturally with EA Active and things where I will do some of those things. And in some of the move sports games, it will say, okay, you're out of the camera, get back in. So I'm pretty restricted. The Kinect will kind of pan because it has motors in the camera.
Oh, right.
It can adjust to you, yes.
Yeah, which is a great thing for that type of casual experience. And that really did help out with that a lot. The voice controls are pretty cool, but somewhat limited. It really does have good picking up on when you say things, and they mostly work in the menus. So, but it's really limited in what it can do. So, like, you could say, okay, Xbox, and then it will give you a list of commands that you can say, and it will usually, if you're in the regular dashboard, it'll usually just be Connect. It'll take you this little Connect hub where you could run, like, maybe 10 things. You can't really browse the whole Xbox menu through that. But what is there is really cool, and it does the voice control works better than voice recognition works better than anything I've seen before. So I'm expecting that they will expand upon that with future software updates.
Yeah, of course they will.
Yeah, to let you do more. So right now it's kind of cool, but it's kind of a novelty.
How's the space issue for you?
Well, actually, it's not a huge deal. I mean, you've been in my house. I don't have a huge living room.
No, but the big bonus I think for you is that you have your living room set up that there's nothing in between like your couch and your TV as it is right now.
Exactly. There's certain games that you play that it will do in the intro. It will show here's what's good and here's what's best, and it will show where you are standing in relation to that. And since I don't have anything, it's just my TV back to my couch, and I think it wants 8 feet minimum, and I have over 8 feet going from my TV to my couch.
Okay.
It shows me as being in the best area. If
Cool.
there was something in my living room, I would have to get it out of there, which for a lot
That
of
would be a
people,
pain in the ass.
Yeah,
Like
would
if
be
you had a coffee table and you had to move it out of there, that would probably be a pain in the ass.
yeah, that'll be a big issue. Right, the way I have it set up, my living room isn't terribly wide, but I do have a reasonable distance back to stuff.
Right.
So it's worked out so far. I haven't played 2-player yet.
Okay.
At the same time, I mean, we did the some of the move stuff 2-player, and it was okay, but I mean,
I about killed your wife.
yeah,
but...
exactly. Like we had to be somewhat careful about how we moved, but it was doable. So I think this will be doable in my living room with 2 people. But again, we'll have to be somewhat cognizant of what's around us.
Right.
So that wasn't a big issue for me. I got Kinect Adventures that came with it, which seems like kind of a blow off. You do it's 5 mini games.
Okay.
You do them, and then it's like, okay, these are whatever. It wasn't the best impression. It was the first thing I played, and
That's what came with it, though?
yes, which is it seems like a misstep from them because the Kinect Sport seems way better, and I can understand them not wanting to pack it with it because it would seem like they're directly copying what Nintendo and Sony did with pack-ins for their move stuff. But that they should have. The Kinect Sport.
Yeah, if they have something like that and sit there and go, yeah, this is way better than what the Wii's pack-in was, and given the market that they're trying to target with that, I think they should have done the sports thing just to say, look, ours is so much better.
Yeah, because I do like it a lot better than both the Wii
And unless that was a money grab to say, here, you'll get this one, but you're gonna want to buy the sports.
And that worked with me because I have the Kinect. I had Adventures, and the next day I went out and bought sports. So I maybe did it. And it's funny because I assumed that Adventures was developed by Rare, which it actually wasn't. It was developed by somebody else, and Sports was developed by Rare.
Really?
And you can really tell the polish that is in Sports versus Adventures.
Not the Rare that writes for our website. It's the Rare
R-A-R-E.
that made Banjo-Kazooie. And...
Yeah, they are often confused.
Yeah.
But you like the sports. What sports games did you like the best?
The bowling was the most impressive to me, and
that surprises the shit out of me.
Me too.
You told me that online, and I was just like, that's fuck you and whatever, and there's no way. But I am honestly surprised. That actually had me kind of, I wouldn't say excited about it, but like intrigued.
Yeah.
So
and,
what about it is so?
well, I mean, you guys know from me talking, and people who follow me on Twitter know, when I got the Move, there was multiple tweets about finding a bowling game on Move that worked, because I just assume that's going to be the perfect one for a bowling game.
Mm-hmm.
And I got Pro Brunswick Bowling, and the High Velocity Bowling on the Move, and they were all very awkward, did not feel consistent at all. And I don't know, there's something about the one on Kinect that it's very simple. When it starts out, it has a little left and right symbol every frame where you just hold your hand out to the right or left if you're right-handed or left-handed, and then you just move your hand left or right to kind of place where you're going to go, and you just bowl. And it does a great job of tracking the spin and your release and everything. I don't know what it is. I don't know what they did. I guess it's just better programming, because I would assume the Move with the accuracy that it has can do it. It just they didn't do it in those games. And I guess with High Velocity Bowling, I can kind of it makes sense, because that was a game that already had come out, and they put Move in backwards. And Pro Brunswick Bowling is by some shitty developer. I don't know. It wasn't
That's really got me wondering if it's something that they just really didn't spend enough time with the technology, or didn't have enough. Because the big thing with the Kinect games is so far they seem like, from everything that I've heard, they seem to be very
Well-versed
polished.
in what they can do.
Yeah, but it seems like there was a lot of help by Microsoft, and I think that's where Sony really needs to watch it on this, is that Sony really needs to be helping their people out that are making these games to be able to compete. And Microsoft is throwing the money and the support at these people to make them work.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely it, because the Move absolutely should be able to do that stuff, and should be able to do more accurate. It's just whatever. I mean, part of it's Microsoft, part of it's Rare. They're owned by Microsoft, and Rare has a good history of putting polish in their games, whatever you think of Rare games. I typically like Rare games, but and the biggest part to me was, and this I feel like lowest common denominator, but when I threw that first ball in Kinect, and it actually felt like I had thrown that ball, there was all this music right after, because I think I got a spare or a strike, might have been the second throw, but there was a lot of flash, and it felt like, oh, cool, and I did not get any of that in the Sony games that I played.
Did you clap for yourself?
Yeah, that's a huge part of it. I mean, especially in a bowling, like, I like bowling, but bowling's pretty boring. But if you dress it up like that, it makes it a lot more impressive. And it's going to get someone like Shannon or someone else who's maybe not huge into games. They're going to come and play that way more than they're going to play, the more boring bowling games that are on the Sony ones right now. Right. So, but besides that, the table tennis actually was way more accurate to me than the Sony one.
And that's crazy.
I know, but it makes no sense.
But that's again, it's very fucking intriguing. It makes me really want to check it out, because when I saw the commercials for Kinect, like with the guy all smiling and cheesing and slapping his hands around, I just like, man, that guy looks like an asshole. I don't want to do that.
Slap hands.
It's like, that guy just looks like a jerk. But it's, man, to hear like you and like everybody else say that, the fucking table tennis works great. It's like, God, really?
It's way more fun. I got really frustrated. Have you spent a lot of time with the table tennis and sports champions?
I spent a little bit of time. I mostly played the Gladiator and stuff, but
okay. And
I spent some time in the table tennis, and it's not as accurate as I'd like it to be. Exactly,
but okay, talking about Gladiator one, that's one that I feel Kinect could probably not do as well as
you don't think so?
I don't know. I think it could. If the developer spent enough time on it, then it could be epic.
I guess they could, but that was one of the games that I was more impressed with Sony, because I guess there's nothing like that on Kinect right now.
I think the problem that they'll have with something like a Gladiator or a fighting game, or maybe even a shooting game, and I could be completely off the mark on this because they could easily prove me wrong, that I think the problem the Kinect will have with those types of games is the lack of buttons. With the buttons, you have the means to add in other types of moves, other actions that you're not going to be able to do with just waving around or jumping.
No.
Like on the Gladiator one, the buttons on the controllers basically tell you which direction you're going to strafe or back up, or if you're going to. There's a couple other things that it does, but yeah, it's going to add more functionality to it that the Kinect might not be able to.
And the one direct comparison with Kinect Sports and the Sports Champions that I felt was superior in the moves direction was volleyball, because there are some of those buttons that you actually use even when you're using
there's a volleyball game in Kinect?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
which it's good, but I did not like as much as the move one, because the move does have some of those buttons, like when you go up for a spike and you hold down one of the buttons and do the tip over instead of the spike, you have some
Right.
of that intricacy that you cannot do on Kinect. So that definitely seemed more impressive on the move side. And like you said, like games like Mag, which we've talked about in the last couple of podcasts, I don't think there's any way you can do that in Kinect without holding. Yeah.
But the thing that I have to kind of consider when I say that, because like me and you are like in love with Mag and being able to use a motion controller with that.
Mm-hmm.
But most people that have a Kinect, possibly in the Xbox, that want to play a first-person shooter, there's no way that they would ever want to play it with a motion controller in the first place. They are probably more console bred and want to use a standard controller.
Yeah.
I think it sounds, I don't know how to put it really. It sounds bad because I want more of this to happen, but I think people like you and me that like the movement controls with a shooter are a very, very low number. There's not I don't think there's a lot of us.
No, I think you're right.
But I think it's cool.
Yeah.
But again, that's because I like it. So.
Yeah. Well, the one game that I'm looking forward to Kinect hardcore wise is the Steel Battalion. Whatever they do with that.
Yeah, I hope they don't screw that up.
I don't either. I mean,
because that would seriously be a system seller for me if that works.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, it's a great piece of tech right now. It's something that I'm really enjoying, and the biggest part is I wanted a fitness, like the fitness game without any controllers or anything really, really appealed to me, and that was kind of what sold it to me.
Cool.
And I'm just really impressed with how well it works. Now there needs to be more games.
But have you also been sweating while you shake your ass?
Oh yeah. But,
been getting your groove on in Dance Central?
Oh yeah, I have. And
you had no idea what you just thought. Anyways,
No,
I just shake my ass all the time.
Oh, you're talking about your fitness. Yeah, Dance Central's like that game that I don't think of, but when I play it, it's a blast, and it has the best menu system, UI type control that I've played in one of the games so far, because they all kind of have their own way of having you navigate the menus and everything, and that one seems like, I hope the other developers upcoming take a look at that one.
So is that going to be like this generation's Dance Dance Revolution type thing, you think?
I think so.
Because I remember when I was growing up in high school, like DDR was like almost like an underground thing that just grew into this whole, like, everyone played it and everyone would have like DDR parties and craziness and stuff. It was like such a silly game, but everyone did it.
Yeah, I could totally see this taking the place of that, and what I've played so far is really, really well done. And that game, that's the one that I've noticed so far. The motion stuff works pretty flawlessly, and
Cool.
And it picks up exactly what I do. And when I fuck up, I know I fucked up, and I don't blame the tech at all.
Now, when the different difficulty levels on that game, the Dance Central, how does that work? Like, as the higher difficulties, is there less delay between when you can do things, or?
You know, I'm not very far, but from what I think is, it gives you very basic steps in the beginner, and then you can't pick a difficulty level until you've unlocked it for the song. So as you progress, they're more and more, they break it down more and more.
Gotcha. So you have to do more and more details. Gotcha.
Yes, yeah. But for someone who sucks at dancing like me, the game's a lot of fun on the intro level. I don't know if I'll enjoy it on the higher levels, but...
Well, until you get good at the intro level stuff.
Yeah, exactly. It does a really good job of letting you know what's coming up, and when, like I said, when I mess up, I know I messed up, and I replay the song and I do progressively better.
Yeah, that's probably the only game that I've seen on the Kinect that I would actually enjoy. Because besides that, I mean, you guys know, I pretty much only PC game, essentially.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's the only game I've seen on the Kinect, and I'm like, wow, that looks awesome. I've seen videos of people playing it and stuff. I'm like, man, I wish I had that one.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's the game out right now that if you have a Kinect, you have to have that game.
Mm-hmm.
To really show it off.
Yes, yeah, and to have fun with it. But,
Yeah.
You're just waiting to take those dancing skills to the local talent competition.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, no, Jason's going to start up his own studio.
Yeah, this is going to open a whole new world for me.
Yeah, he's going to be a business owner before you know it.
Jazz hands.
Yes.
Been playing anything else?
Yeah.
No, that's worn me out. I'm fucking tired from those games.
What about you, Steve? What have you been playing?
No, I'm sorry. Real quickly, I have been playing Super Meat Boy.
Oh, Super Meat
How
Boy.
is that?
It is a
hell is
lot,
it?
a lot of fun. It's it's only on the 360 right now. It's coming out on PC, and I think in the very near future. It's a kind of throwback to a 16-bit platformer. It's a very difficult game that has you going through different. The beautiful thing about that game is it's hard as fuck, but the levels are very short. And when you have infinite lives, and when you die, it's pretty instantaneous respawn. So you don't get too upset. And
Can you just start right back up again?
yeah, you start right back up where you at. And,
It's not like it throws it in your face like, you suck.
Yeah, and they're not like Mario Link levels. They're probably like 20, 30-second levels if you can get through them really quickly. It's really good. I don't know. It's hard to describe.
I have no idea what it is, but yeah. If
You're a
it's
piece of meat trying to save your girlfriend.
Oh, okay, makes sense.
Yeah, there you go.
It sounds like my high school years.
But every time you get to her, there's this dick who just takes her away.
Awesome.
So, just like your high school
Is it
years.
an actual dick or?
No, he's something. He reminds me of, you saw Better Off Dead, right? You remember Better Off Dead. He's kind of like Blaine, who keeps stealing the chick. Nice. Yeah, he's Blaine.
Nice. So does your Meat Boy have sauce? Or
Oh, yeah. Every time you die, it's a good thing you bring that up. When you die, there's like blood that explodes everywhere. So when you get to
but
a really
it's tomato
tough...
sauce. It's tomato sauce.
Yeah. The great thing about that game that I just noticed was when you die a lot and you keep respawning, and once you finally get to the end of it, they do a replay of you getting through it, but they show every one of your Meat Boys at the same time. So, like, you can progressively see...
Oh my gosh, really?
where
That'd be
you died,
awesome.
And you see, like, the one Meat Boy who made it out of there. Like,
That's cool.
Yeah, and the music's fantastic in that game.
How much
So-
was it?
It was, I guess it's regularly $15, but it was $10 on Xbox right now, and I'm assuming it's never going to be $15 because they said it was going to be $15, and they said, oh, it's the introductory period, it's going to be $10 until we say it's going to be 15. And then they've already announced the PC version, so I'm guessing it's going to be $10. So
I'll have to pick it up
But,
when it gets on the
you know,
PC.
the PC, I'm really going to wonder how you can play it with a keyboard. I guess you could, but it's one of those old school platform type games that you may need a controller for.
So what you're saying is I have to buy an Xbox for Super Meat Boy.
Or buy an Xbox controller and plug it in your PC.
Oh.
That sounds like too much work.
Yeah, I'll just deal with it.
Yeah, you could.
I'll just buy the Xbox. No, I probably won't, but that's okay.
Yeah.
That's all you've been playing?
Yeah, that's it.
What about you, Steve?
Well, what about me? This week has been a week of whims, if you will.
I see you have a long list.
It's been stupid. I am such a freaking moron.
This is I think, your craziest ass list yet of what you're
this is
playing.
pretty much your biggest list so far
This
ever.
is the
most random list.
This is so stupid.
Random list too, yeah.
Like, if you went off what you were playing last week to this week, it's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb.
Yeah, you pretty much lost your mind.
You already know I played some more last weekend. I also played some MAG. but we already know all about that. But then on some like crazy whim, I was like, my wife never plays her Nintendo DS anymore, so I went to GameStop and picked up Dragon's Quest 9, which
I've always been interested in that game.
it's like people just like rave about the game, about how crazy addictive it is. It is straight up old school RPG, like Japanese RPG. I can't explain how old
it is.
JRPG it really is. The story's pretty interesting so far. I think I've probably put about 4 or 5 hours into it. It is pretty addictive. But I don't think that I will rave about it as much as a lot of other people. It is fantastic as a handheld RPG.
Awesome.
I will say that. I can't really even try to begin to explain the story to you because I'm still at the point where I'm trying to figure out what went on. But you play you basically play this guy who's like an angel, but all these angels are over certain areas of the world, like these towns, and something happens and you get sent down to Earth, like on accident, if you will, and all of a sudden you're like human. You're like everybody else. You're called a celestial, not an angel. That's
Sure.
what it was.
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Of course, yeah. But you are then like on, I won't say it's even Earth, but you're on the planet, and you have to kind of like start helping people out to try to figure out what's going on. You tell people who you are, and you're in the town that you were over before, and you tell people what your name was, and they're like, yeah, it's the same name as our guardian, if you will, and they don't really quite believe you, or they think that you're just trying to skirt your way through town on that name, and you help people out there, then you eventually move on, and you've come across like a fairy that tries to help you get back up to the heavens, if you will. I don't know, it's really weird. I still don't have any idea what went on, what happened to get me to send me down, but as far like that, all that crap aside, it is pretty addictive. It is straight up JRPG. I don't know. I can't explain it any other way.
So there's random battles.
There is you can't say the battles are random. You can actually see the enemies on your screen, so you can avoid them mostly. But if they are like much higher level than you, they will try to like come attack you, and they run faster than you do.
Oh, those dicks.
Those
I
dicks.
hate that.
So they can most of the time, if you're not far enough away from them, they can catch you, and then all of a sudden it'll go into the battle sequence, and it plays just like any JRPG does. That you can fight or cast a spell or use an item. You get 3 other party members. Like you create your character in the beginning to like kind of however you want him to look. Him or her, excuse me, and within very certain confines. And after playing City of Heroes, it seems very limited, but that's kind of a joke. But anyways, you also get to pick up your party members, 3 other party members, which you can choose what kind of classes they are. You can build them to look however that you want them to look. You can actually, as you level, you can choose how you want them to be spec'd. It's pretty cool. I don't know. It's good. It's addictive. It's nice for the toilet.
So
I don't see this game on Steam. Does this really exist?
Yes. It's a DS Game Pass. It's a handheld system.
So it sounds like exactly what you would think it would be.
Yeah,
it is
pretty much.
exactly what you think it would be, and that's pretty much it. But it has a very cute, easy to pick up and play quality to it. It has a quick save, so you can just sit there and like if you gotta stop playing, it's not like you have to get to a save point or anything. You can quick save it real quick and then turn the system off and pick right back up where you were, no matter where you were in the game, as long as you weren't like right in a battle. So it's a very convenient pick up and play sort of JRPG. And I think that's what the big the plus side of the game is, and why I keep going back to it, is because it's very easy to pick up, play for 20 minutes, an hour, however long you want, and then put it back down. So it's neat. It's still like $35 brand new, unless you can find it on sale, which I found it on sale for like 30. Yeah, I honestly don't think that I got my money's worth out of it. I think for the amount of time that I'll put into it, I did, but as far as my enjoyment of it, I think it would have been better if I waited until it was like 20, 25.
Yeah. That game, looking at it, the sweet spot for me would be like $20.
Yeah, if I could get it for 20, it would be so sweet.
20 or less.
But then the kicker is, and I haven't started playing. Not that it would be the first time I started playing it, but for $20, I also picked up Chrono Trigger for the DS.
Oh, that's a great game.
Which is a great game. I already know it's a great game, and it's totally worth $20. So.
That is more than worth $20.
So yeah, that I also got that, but I haven't started my game on that yet. So. But anyways, down the whim lane, I also started playing some Lord of the Rings online.
No, that's not what it's called.
Yeah, I had changed the name of the game in my Steam account to Lord of the Motherfucking Rings.
Online.
Online. Online.
Not the offline one.
Yeah.
Right.
Which would still be O, so.
Right.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, I played that for a couple nights this week. I have not really been back to the game since it went free to play, even though like months before it went to free to play, I had kept on saying, once that game goes free to play, I'm like so there. That's a perfect game to go back
Not that
to.
it's free to play, you just don't play it.
Yeah, well, that's what's hilarious about it, is that I hadn't gone back. But last week, I think I jumped on like one night just for a little bit to get everything patched up, and then I jumped in real quick to see if my character was still like alive. But which why wouldn't he be? He's just ones and zeros. Then this week I played a couple nights in a row, and Brian actually, who's been on the podcast before, he was playing actually one of the nights that I jumped on, so I talked to him, and I'm still guilded. The guild hasn't kicked me out yet, and that guild, I think you were in the same guild, weren't you, Jason?
Yes.
Those guys are still kick ass.
Yeah,
because
they
they still
great.
play. They still play like every night.
Yeah, they were
and
hardcore.
And it's like fucking Cheers when you walk into that place.
They're like, hey!
Yeah, they're like, hey, Slurms, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh my god, you people are still here and you still love me. That's great. I love you too. But play that for a couple nights, and I've also been playing Dark Age of Camelot, which is, yeah, it's pretty crazy. I don't know why I'm doing it, but I think the nostalgia finally like caught up with me enough that I wanted to go back out and check it out.
Did you have like a free trial to that again?
There was like a... I was trying to find the re-enlisters thing and see if that was still active because I wanted to get on my old characters, but actually instead I just jumped on and made a trial account real quick, and I jumped into that. I've played it probably about 2 or 3 nights, and the whole like new player experience in that is like completely different now.
Yeah.
It's been that long. It's the last time I had played it was still you go to one of these 2 starting zones and.
Oh really? It's been that long for you?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's been a long ass time.
I've done that too. I've done the newer one.
Yeah, and it's neat and it's interesting, but it was still like I was like sitting there playing it and I'm like, I kind of wish there was an option that I could go do the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, for someone like who also have played it for years, it'd be nice.
Yeah,
to knock
because it
out
seemed way too like hand-holdy.
Yes.
And I wasn't used to that in Dark Age of Camelot.
It's for all those people picking up DOC at Target.
I know.
Oh yeah.
It's there.
It's still there.
It's if you have an older Target, it might still be there. It's right next to Tabula Rasa.
Yeah.
I was at Target. I was at Target the other day, and Dark Age was right there on the shelf, and I was like, "Good lord."
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, I was just joking.
It's there. It's there.
The GameStop over here's still got a copy of it on the shelf.
Which one do they have? Like
the
collection.
It's like the collection that had like 2 or 3 of the expansions on it.
Yeah.
Or the updates, I should say. Two expansions, like a couple updates or whatever the hell one it was. But I was surprised. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna stick around Dark Age very long. Partly because I just picked up Going Rogue and I actually like paid money to play that. So
it's weird going back to Dark Age now, isn't it? It's like
it is so damn bizarre. What's funny about that game is it's like it's, again, I'm having a hard time like putting my thoughts together tonight, but
I think it's the UI. I really think it's just the UI that throws it off.
see, I was thinking it was the UI, and part of it's the interaction with the UI. It's not just the
Yeah.
UI; it's actually how you interact with it,
Right.
and like
yeah. It's
actually
not. It's
how.
not the look of it. It's the
Yeah,
actual
it looks fine, and like the actual like the hotbars and everything's still there, but it's like how you go about finding things in it. Just logging out of the game was like, oh shit, how do I do that again?
/quit.
Yeah, it was like, oh my god, I forgot you had to slash command to get out, or bring up the little menu box
Slash
that had the
QTD.
Yeah, /QTD. I
Yeah,
used to,
like,
that's disabled
Jesus.
now.
Oh, is it?
That's disabled now. They don't
Really?
they don't let you do that anymore.
Oh,
I used to do that all the time. I would love that command. I'd be like, oh, gotta go. /QTD, go. Run.
The best part of that command was when anyone would ask something in general, like how to do something, and there'd be the clown would say, "Oh, just do /QTD."
I love that.
Uh.
That's like the old explanations of, oh, just do Alt F4, you'll be fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
But what's hilarious about the game is that like there amongst all of the things that like it seems so like heavy to try to get through and understand, there's also of like little things in there that it's like, God, why don't other games do these simple stupid little things? And some other games do, but like the sprint that you can map to a button and that it actually just slowly drains your endurance, and it's like, why didn't they fucking pull that over to War?
Yeah, exactly.
And it really made me sit there and was like, God, why did Mythic change it in War that it just, you totally screw yourself if you try to sprint? Like you totally lose all of your power and or not power, but your endurance, and I don't know.
But you do that in War too.
What's that?
You lose everything.
Yeah, you do, but you don't in Dark Age. In
No,
Dark Age,
of
it
course
slowly drains
Okay.
as you run.
Yeah.
And it's like stuff like that. I don't know, but the game looks like I don't know. It's so mixed. Like sometimes it looks janky and sometimes it looks really good. I don't know.
Yeah, it does. It like keeps surprising you. You're like, oh, that's still beautiful, and then you turn around and you're like, ugh.
Because I still like the character models. The character models look great,
Yeah, I really like the character models.
but then some of the buildings look like ass. So
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Massively multiplaying.
And let's get into some MMO news. Star Wars: The Old Republic crew skills, or companion jobs, as John calls it.
Yeah,
What's up with the
sort of.
companion jobs?
Well, the jabs, as you so astutely said.
Jabs.
Yeah, the jabs. Essentially, instead of your crew members just sitting around your ship while you're away.
Like
They're,
lazy jag-offs.
Yeah, like lazy jagoffs there. Yeah, they're basically going to be pretty productive while you're away on your missions. So,
Really? You're gonna keep doing that?
I wouldn't. I don't. Jason, would you?
No.
Oh, okay.
no, it's done. Well, the companion jobs are essentially where the summarization is. You know how in all of the BioWare games, actually, you have your companions. You take 2 with you, and you have like 10 at your ship.
Right.
Just sitting around, doing nothing. You know, I've always kind of wondered, like, how come they're not doing stuff? Like, you come back and you can talk to them about stuff, about things like, oh, how do you feel about that? And what do you think about what we did? And all that stuff. But they don't actually accomplish anything while you're
No,
gone.
they're always like, I've just been staring at this wall.
Yeah, it's like, you come back and you're like, so, I've been gone for like 7 days according to this quest I just
I
finished.
died like 9 times.
Yeah, I died 9 times. I've been gone for 7 days. What have you been doing? Nothing. I've been sitting in this room, staring at this table.
So you gonna clean up any of the shit? No, I'm not gonna do that.
No, not going to do that at all. So this finally, and I'm very, very happy to hear this feature, is the companions. You can actually assign them certain jobs related to gathering, crafting, or even side missions that you have to, the higher level you are, the higher trained they are, and all that kind of stuff, they can accomplish more things. The bottom line is, while you're hunting or away, you can send orders back to your ship to say, hey, Joe Schmo, go gather some stuff up, and by the time you get back to your ship again, you might have some materials already stocked up from that companion to craft.
Sending messages back, say, I know you're fucking around back there. You get to work.
Yeah, quit laying around. So it's a really cool thing because it's gonna stress crafting as a viable thing to do, even for the casual person. I think it's gonna really put an emphasis on crafting, and stuff like that. And I've seen some concerns about, what about the gold farmers and stuff like that, and and ultimately, I think it just comes down to regulation of how much you can do with it. I think obviously a higher level character will be able to accomplish more. Usually gold farmers, at least for the most part, are like level 1 to anywhere between level 1 to mid-level, unless they actually power level some guys. Anyway, but I don't know. What do you think, Jason?
I think the potential looks cool. What I'm worried a little bit about is it fancy dressing for crafting per usual? And maybe that's all crafting needs in a game, is to make you feel like it's not all on you. Like is it going to be you assigning things in a way that is similar to crafting? It's just that it feels like you're not doing it. Does that make sense to you guys?
Right. Yeah. Like you're still doing it yourself, but it doesn't feel like you are.
Which may be great. I mean, I'm totally open to that idea, and maybe that feels like you're not grinding it or
you're crafting, but you're not wasting your time sitting there crafting.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think the major difference, because for me, I actually do like crafting, but I despise resource gathering. So for me, it's I have to wait until I have money to buy resources on the auction house or whatever you want to call it, and then I'll buy the resources on the auction house and then craft.
Yeah.
So for me, this is going to be perfect because I can send my dudes out and say, go resource gather for me, and while I go do a whole bunch of missions, and I'll come back a week later after playing or not playing. The important thing to mention, by the way, is that these companions do their job whether you're online or offline.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh no,
that
shit.
was another
like
feature that I kind of forgot to mention in the very beginning. So you could come back after a week, and depending obviously on their skill level, and the other thing that they said was it also depends on how much your companion agrees with you on your morale level.
Oh, that's a cool.
That's a major. Let's say you're all good, right? You're completely a blue. As far as BioWare is concerned, you're 100% blue.
Light
right?
side?
Yeah, you're all light side. If your companion that you're sending off to do something is either neutral or evil, he's not going to get as much done for you as a light side companion would. So if, let's say your companion spread, right, is you have one guy that'll get a whole bunch of shit done, and then it's, progressively less for all the other companions. You have a light side, a sort of light side, a neutral, a sort of evil, and a full evil options. So if you're all right, I really, really need gathering done really bad, so you're going to send the guy that's all exactly on your moral level out to do the most important job. And then the rest of them are okay, do this, this, and this.
Okay, why would I want the other guys on my crew then?
Well, obviously that's going to be your own storyline.
Or they may have combat abilities that you
okay.
Or something.
Right.
I don't know.
You never know. It just like any other BioWare game.
You can't wash windows, but my God, you can beat the shit out of a guy.
Right, exactly. It's just like any other BioWare game where for at least a short while you have to deal with Mandalore. It's
yeah.
Even if you don't keep him, you have to use him for an hour. So anyway, but it's gonna be pretty cool. That's gonna be perfect for me because I love crafting and hate gathering. So there's 3 different versions. There's the gathering itself, which they on all of these different sections they haven't revealed all of it. So on gathering there's 4, but they've only revealed 3. The 3 they've revealed is bioanalysis, which is genetic stuff. Scavenging is obviously old tech and parts. Slicing is from hacking computers and data. Under crafting, the only thing they've revealed so far is armor. Artifacts, dealing with constructing Jedi and Sith artifacts such as, what do you call them? I've lost the word in my mind.
Holocrons?
Holocrons, yes. The holocrons, you can make holocrons of your own and stuff like that. Or biochem, which is implants and serums, which I think is pretty cool. And there's 3 more under crafting that they have not announced, one of which is obviously weapons, and who knows what else. Then there's also a 3rd one, which I thought was really interesting. Oh, shields. Yeah, that's true.
Big wooden shields.
Big old wooden shields, yeah.
That's what Luke Skywalker was going to use, but...
Yeah, he had a big old buckler right there.
Big buckler.
Yeah, big buckler. Then, all that stuff.
Luke
The other-
Skywalker pulls out his +1 heater shield.
Yes, his heater. There's another one that I thought was really interesting was missions. They have side missions. This is the part that I thought was really interesting because if you're going to be really heavy into your own storyline, these mission skills are going to be really important for you because this deals with diplomacy, treasure hunting, and 2 other things that they haven't announced. But they did sort of touch on a couple things like trading illicit goods if you're evil or neutral or kind of renegade, or even like, kind of side like research or things like that. Like, so let's say there's like a diplomacy mission, like a side mission that comes up. You can send your best man out to go take care of a diplomatic problem and get the reward when he returns and kind of stuff like that, which will also further your storyline in certain ways and things like that, which will be really interesting. So I don't know. Yeah. I think this whole like companion job thing or crew skills, whatever you want to call it, I think this is going to end up being a pretty sweet feature depending on how they flesh it out. So I'm really excited on the potential of it, but it depends on how they work at it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it sounds like
neat.
it's got potential. I'm definitely interested in what they do with it. It sounds.
I like that they're at least doing something a bit different.
Right. Yeah, they sort of took like the Guild Wars idea of having companions or even their own previous BioWare games of having companions, but they took it to like another level where they do other stuff while you're not taking care of them.
Yeah.
So I really like that.
Yeah, sounds neat. Let's see. Is there any other? That's all the Tor news, right?
Pretty much it. Yeah,
Okay.
that covers it all.
In Warhammer Online news, which there is a substantial amount of, so if you don't like Warhammer, skip ahead like, 10 minutes. And when you get there, we'll still be talking about it.
All right.
1.4 in the RVR packs are going to hit next Thursday, or by the time you listen to this, next Thursday, November 18th. So, yeah. Awesome. I was figuring later on in the month, but that's great.
Yeah, I was thinking December, but yeah.
Oh, really? I was hoping for November, but
I was hoping, but I figured I'm like they said this year, probably December mid whatever. But so yeah, that was a pleasant surprise to read that.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's go down some of the later announced things that Andy's been throwing up on the Herald. RVR tier bracket adjustment. We're going to kind of read these and then kind of discuss them, but they decided to expand the brackets in tiers 1 through 3 to have more of an overlap in the ranks of players. Yes, it alleviates some of the issues in Tier 1 with the twinked endless trial players, making it more of an even level playing field for the active subscribers. The proposed bracket changes are Tier 1s will be ranks 1 through 15, Tier 2 will be ranks 12 through 26, Tier 3 will be ranks 22 through 39, and Tier 4 is going to be 32 to 40. So yeah, that's the kind of the weird thing. I don't know if it's weird, but it's still going to be capping the players at rank 10. So like if you're in Tier 1, kind of the weird thing is that you can be like level 15 and fighting against trial players that are ranked 10, right?
Yeah.
If I'm reading that right?
This is what Andy was referring to when we interviewed him.
Mm-hmm.
I assume that they were putting measures in to combat the twinks in T1. Yeah.
Which I personally, I'm not sure if I like this.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm holding judgment completely until we see how this works out.
Yeah,
but this
give
seems
it a
like
couple
a very
months and-
very weird way to go with this.
Just the whole idea of if I'm a trial player. I mean, yeah, sure. I think they probably have more people playing the trials by this point that aren't really people checking out the game. But for those people that are going to be coming and checking out the game to possibly subscribe,
They get their ass kicked.
they're going to get their asses handed to them.
And
I'm level
it's-
10 and I'm fighting somebody that's level 15.
And it's not like these people are doing anything wrong. They're doing what Mythic gave them.
Yeah.
With their parameters of what to do. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
Maybe they felt like the trial at this point, like you said, it's gotten who they think they're going to get from the game.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see. But yeah, I'm big question mark in my head. The next one is a scenario matchmaking, which is I'm actually excited about to some degree, as we will be introducing an all-new scenario matchmaking system that will work to pit players of ratings against each other when possible. Player rating is determined by skill and performance, so the better you do, the higher your rating. It's just as we're very excited about the new system. I'm excited about it, but I have lots of questions, like how are they determining your rating?
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a
like
lot
what
of
considers success, you know?
What they're saying, you're determined by skill and performance, but in what? That's kind of
I don't have any.
That's
skill.
tricky. Exactly. That's very tricky.
Well, I mean, you could ask the same question, I guess, technically about any other game. Like, how does, League of Legends matchmaking work? How does StarCraft matchmaking work?
Yeah.
I assume that it'll be like, let's say you're pitted against a certain group. Because at the beginning of any matchmaking system, everyone's going to have the same score. So it'll be kind of muddy.
Right. Yeah,
So
I
the
hope
launch of
they
it will
don't start.
be-
I hope they don't start taking any of the data for this rating until after they start this matchmaking.
I have to assume
I
they
hope
won't.
I hope that there's no like data that they're using from previous.
I doubt they are.
Yeah, I doubt it, but
that's
I
not
just,
that's not a fair matchmaking system if they did.
right.
Well, I guess. Anyway.
And I hope they're only basing it on scenario
They
information.
have to because there's
There's way too many variables in open
Yeah.
world RVR. That
Yeah,
'cause-
there's way too much.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'm excited about it because
I am excited, like you said, because I'm not huge into scenarios as it is now, and maybe this will help me to join that a little bit more. I like more of the variables in open world RVR, and maybe that's
Right.
to help mask that I'm not a great player, that I can kind of lose myself in some of the situations. I don't think that's what it is, but I mean that might be part of it. So maybe something like this to where I feel like it's more of an even match going into scenarios. I may join more of them.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. The next up on the big update list is the ease of acquiring gear, saying that they're making RVR armor sets much easier to attain. Basically, some of the lower ones, as far as the like the Annihilator set and the Conqueror set. The Annihilator is going to be sold for coin. Conqueror is going to be purchasable for officer medallions. And it says only Invader and Warlord medallions will be, only Invader and Warlord will be rewarded in Open RVR for Tier 4 keep captures, rather than only being available in the city. It says Sovereign Armor will be available from Stage 1 of the City Siege experience. So that should definitely help people like me who are just past level 40 and trying to get ranked up to get some of that gear. So
Yeah, I don't even play the game anymore, and I thought that was a huge change. I mean, that was as far as the being able to acquire something. That's pretty drastic thing, and I kind of liked it. I don't play the game anymore, but I mean that was a really good change, I think.
They got new hot shit coming in, so they need to liquidate all their old stuff.
Exactly. I mean, that makes sense with what they're doing, so that's cool.
Yeah. There's also going to be gold bag opt-outs.
Finally.
That you are going to be able to opt out of getting gold bags from RVRP queues. People have been asking for that forever.
Since like day one, really.
Yeah. I remember back when we were doing Cotcast, people were complaining about that. So that's actually awesome. Then finally, players who purchase the progression pack will find that the rate at which they gain renown has been increased on an ascending scale based on renown rank, capping out at a 300% bonus. This means that players will be converging on 80 much more quickly than the current 80s will be leveling. It says that we believe this will condense the RVR spread in many ways.
Now, is the scaling bonus, is that going to be the lower you are, the higher the bonus, or the other way around?
It says on an ascending scale, so I think it's the higher you are, the faster the bonus. So it's almost like, it almost seems as if
you're going to be getting in levels at the same amount of time gaps.
Yeah, it almost seems like it's flattening the level curve.
Yeah, that's the way I interpreted it. Like
they're bringing the curve down to like a plateau instead.
Yeah, you will get to 80 at the same if you're now rank 40 or 70.
Right.
Okay, that makes sense. That's kind of good.
If you buy the progression pack.
If you buy the progression pack, yes.
If you don't, you're going on the same
curve that was originally implemented.
Right.
But I mean, you have that option.
Yes.
Right. You could
You
pay
don't have to do
$10
it.
to get it to it way faster.
Yeah. You're still going to be RVRing.
Right.
Either way.
I don't know. The one note that I put on here that I thought about it the other day, with the game going more RVR focused, I'm wondering if it would, I'm like going like long term, I'm hoping that they are at least looking at the idea of, hey, do we even need the 1 to 40 levels anymore? Can we just base everything off of the renown ranks?
That'd be interesting, actually.
Yeah.
I think
I don't
at this point probably not because of
No,
the progression pack thing that they're introducing. But it's like, why? Like hypothetically, would that have been that hard to do? I guess.
At that point, it's becoming more along the lines of a Darkfall or something like that, where your renown or PvP skills is what grades your level. And I don't know if that's. I don't know.
I think the one thing they could do to somewhat resemble what you're talking about is remove as you're leveling, remove the part where your actual level, your actual renown rank cannot pass your actual level.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Like, give us enough renown points that will always be getting a little bit more than what we would versus experience in actual, like, RVR combat, and remove that cap so that if I'm level 5 out in Tier 1 open RVR, I could possibly be a level 5 whatever and have a renown rank of 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. If you spend all of your time in RVR or whatever.
Right, and that's the direction that they want the game to go.
Yeah. In that line, I think they need to also reassess how you get gold in RVR, because you're still a poor bastard if you just RVR.
Yeah, I think that's a very valid point. I hope they address that. That and how your guild ranks.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think up until now, a lot of the guild ranking was from PvE, and they may have already made changes, and I just don't notice it, and maybe it just still levels that slowly. But hopefully they've looked at that and said, okay, let's give people more guild experience for RVR combat. So, and for taking keeps and such, but I don't know. Anyways, other news, Champions Online. This is kind of interesting. I just read this today. Cryptic is going to be offering lifetime subscriptions again because there was a high demand for it. This is what's funny. The game's going
now, was
free
that
to
from
play.
the customers or from the executives?
Yeah,
from the board of directors.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's two funny parts of this. Is that Champions Online is going to be going free to play, and they're offering lifetime subscriptions. Okay, that might not be. And people that are playing the game are like, well, the lifetime subscription is going to buy you
all these bonus things.
all these bonuses. Same kind of thing that like Lotro has.
Right. Yeah.
Right? And that's awesome.
The free-to-play stuff has this, but the lifetime people have that.
Yeah, that's fine. That's great. The funny part of it is that back when they offered the lifetime subscriptions before, it was $200. Now it's $300.
Yes, it is.
So they've tacked on another $100. If you want one, here it's $300. So I don't know. That's. I guess if people were actually asking for it, and I'd like to see how people actually, what the people that were asking for the lifetime subscriptions, how they take that.
Yeah, they'd be like, wait a second. We want a $200 lifetime, not $300.
Right. So.
Takes another 10 months to get that shit back.
And also, I think we already mentioned earlier, City of Heroes issue 19 comes out next week.
Which we don't know about yet.
I have no damn clue, so maybe we'll talk about more.
We'll talk about that next week.
Yeah. The other quick little bit of information that I read this morning was APB. The rights to that game were purchased by the K2 network. Looks like they could be turning APB into a free-to-play game. That's the rumor going around right now. So
yeah.
See how that goes.
Yeah. I mean, I will definitely be interested in what they do with it.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Other stuff worthy of discussion. Call of Duty Black Ops sells 7 million copies in one day.
Is that a lot?
That's a lot.
That's a lot. And more than 50% were Xbox 360.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I guess that's expected, though.
Yeah, I think that's kind of expected.
It is expected on some level, but I didn't think that... I don't know.
I mean, I want to know. I would like to know what the percentage for the PC was, though.
I'll actually tell you. It was 59%, so basically almost 60 for Xbox 360, 36% for PS3, and the remainder was split between PC, Wii, and DS.
Oh, that sucks.
That's
That
bad.
really sucks.
Yeah.
That's terrible. When you really break it down like that, you know.
That really sucks.
Split between PC, Wii, DS, iPhone, Android, Game Boy
but really
Advance.
think about that. Like, okay, you got 59, right? And you got 36. That's 95% of the market. The other 5% was split 3 ways.
Well, it's because the PC guys just got theirs for free. Not really. Not really. I'm just
that's probably part of it. But I mean, it's disappointing for a series that, no matter who's developing now, started as a PC only franchise. But
yeah, I don't know.
That's just the way the competitive shooters. That's just the way they've gone is towards Xbox.
yeah,
So I don't know. Whatever. It is what it is. It kind of shows me why I shouldn't buy shooters on PC anymore.
did any of that stuff include Steam, or was that just a
You
retail?
know, all the numbers that I've ever seen, as far as I know, they've never included Steam because Steam keeps the actual numbers
they're
private.
pretty. Yeah.
They keep the actual numbers private. However, we'll get to this in a second. Is that the Steam is sort of becoming a giant lately.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the other news, nice segue, John. The other news was UK retailers are complaining that Steam is locking down the PC market, and they're threatening to ban Steam games.
Right, yeah, and this was actually a really interesting article to me because I do download a lot of Steam games. And my question to you guys and anybody else that's listening is how many Steam games do you guys actually buy instead of going to a brick and mortar store or instead of going to any other digital retailer? Because I personally prefer Steam because I already have quite a library going on already, and they have so many sales all the time. I mean, it's like
I haven't
days
bought
that
a...
Why? You know, like...
I typically, like, as far as, like, PC games go, I typically buy them on Steam anymore, but, like, occasionally I'll be going through, like, Target or something, and they'll have one on clearance. Like, Dawn of War 2 I picked up for, like, $15. It was back on a clearance
has
shelf.
Awesome sales on occasion. It really does. It
You
was
have to
like,
be
you
there
know,
at the
you go
right
through
time.
and you're like, clearance $2 on this game, and you're like, wow, that's a good game. I'll pick that up.
Yeah. The weird exception to that was yesterday when I picked up City of Heroes. I just was walking through a GameStop at the other side of town that I usually don't shop at, and they had City of Heroes, and it was the day after talking with people online about it. I was like, you know what, I'll just go ahead and pick it up. And I don't know why I did. I could have just went home and downloaded it, but it was there, and I wanted to give my money to the nice gentleman behind the counter, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
He was pretty.
I've got this awesome box.
Yeah. Well, go ahead, Jason. Go ahead.
To answer your question of what I've bought in relation to brick and mortar versus Steam, I bought quite a few Steam games in the past year, and I'm trying to think. I've only bought 2 from stores. One was Bad Company 2, and the other was New Vegas, which actually required Steamworks, so I had to go download it through Steam.
Oh shit! I did buy it. That's
Yeah,
all
like
New Vegas.
you have to buy it. You know, you bought it through them, and then you actually install it, and then it says, okay, install Steam, and you're like, well, I already have Steam. And it's like, okay, apply to Steam, and it's like, wait, what?
Yeah, I basically bought a code to get it, and I had to download it through Steam. Like, the installation process had me download it through Steam, even though I had it.
I've got this disc.
Yeah, like, I just want to install it. No, okay, I'll come back 5 hours later, whatever.
If you look at the disc, all the disc actually has on it is the instructions to get it from Steam, the codes, and then a Peter Gabriel video of the music for Steam.
Yeah, it's like a 50 meg disc. It's a quick time
it makes
movie.
me wonder, you know? Like, why am I going there in the first place? So the article actually kind of displayed, like, the UK retailers are complaining that Steam is locking it down, that they're threatening to not carry any games that require Steam or that use Steam, or they're demanding that producers develop non-Steam application games that the versions of it, so that the developers will make 2 different versions, one that uses Steam and one that they can sell, or whatever. Because supposedly, this is according to this article, that Steam controls 80% of the digital market, and that they're afraid of another iTunes monster developing. That if you look at it now, iTunes pretty much controls the music market. But their concern is that Steam is becoming this giant that, is going to control the downloadable market. So
yeah, I understand. I totally get their fears because it's directly eating into their profits, and it's in some way killing jobs. So I totally understand the fear, but at the same time, it's as a PC gamer, I kind of say, hey man, it's all we got. Yeah, it's all we got, man. They're kind of like they're one of the last bastions of hope for the PC gamer. So
yeah, really, it kind of is. It's like when I actually look at the PC gaming market, I pretty much look to Steam.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of the only caveats we have versus console gaming is we have this digital distribution thing that we can download things and not worry about. That's one of the things, I don't know if you guys have noticed with the PlayStation, is when you buy a downloadable game, you have like 5 downloads before they don't let you download it again. And
Right.
Xbox is a little bit better, but I mean, you're limited in an Xbox. You have to buy an expensive-ass hard drive, proprietary hard drive, to fit into that. So I mean, Steam is one of those few things that, okay, I can have a new computer. I had a computer go out on me last year, and I don't have to worry about it. And you can't do that in consoles now. So you take that away from us. I mean, what do we have?
Yeah. And the whole point of me, like, the reason I feel like I'm so comfortable with Steam now is because I could download it as many times as I want. Some of the games support the Steam Cloud, which is your save games. Access it from any computer as long as you log into your Steam account, which is fantastic. I mean, let's say you reformat your computer and you can still replay the game from where you left off.
Right.
Like, to me, that's what the value is to me. It's like that I don't lose my save games, whatever I'm doing. Not all games support it, granted, but
But more and more will as it goes forward.
Exactly, yeah. So that to me is like the major value of Steam is that whole side of it. And I do still use Impulse, for example, with things like Elemental and anything that Stardock launches and things like that. But really, that's the only 2 that I use is Impulse for the Stardock games and then Steam for everything else.
Yep, same here.
But you're not excited about the new games for Windows?
Games for Windows, I don't even know.
Oh no, Microsoft is relaunching the
again.
You didn't see that?
Is that like the 4th time?
Again? Yeah.
They've like launched that like 3 times already.
Yeah, they're like redoing the website and relaunching games for Windows.
So they're trying to take the other 20% of the market, or what?
They're still fighting to keep that alive. They had some like press release or whatever come out a couple weeks ago saying that we're still
here.
We're still alive. Basically we're still here, but saying that we're still proponents for PC gaming, and we're going to try fighting the good fight or whatever it was. Don't quote any of that. But
maybe you should have deleted Fable 3 then for PC.
Yeah, exactly.
What I do like about games for Windows is how it can be integrated. Well, no, how it can be integrated with the Xbox Live. Like, for example,
achievements and stuff.
Well, I'm saying, like, I'll be on, let's say, Dawn of War 2 or Fallout or whatever, and it's if Windows Live is integrated into it, I can see when someone gets onto their Xbox, someone gets onto their PC. So, like, let's say, Jason, you're going to start playing Kinect. I can see when you're starting to play Kinect if I'm playing Fallout. Like, I'll be, like, playing Fallout, and it'll be like, Jason or Aberrant starts playing whatever, starts playing this, and I could actually send you messages and stuff from my PC to your Xbox, which is cool, and I wish that more games were integrated that way because it doesn't interfere with my Steam interface either. So it's home, you hit the home button for Windows Live, and I hit Shift-Tab for Steam, so it's like separate, but you can have both at the same time, and it's kind of nice, actually.
I did notice that.
I don't actually use Game for Windows for anything else except that.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that. When I got the new 360 and I was going through my profile of what I played on, I was on the Xbox, and I was like, I got a lot of gamer points and a lot of time in a Fallout 3, but I'm thinking like I didn't play this on the 360, and then I realized it was from the Games for Windows. The PC one.
Or Dawn of War 2, same thing.
Yep. Yeah. Yep.
But it's kind of cool, but at the same time, I don't.
It's kind of cool at this point. It's a lost cause. I mean.
Yeah.
Because I think the next Dawn of War is moving away from that. It's going Steamworks.
Right.
So I mean,
yeah,
what else do they have?
The copy of Dawn of War that I got actually already had Steamworks in it, but I think when you get into the game, you still had to fire up Windows Live, which sucks.
Yeah, it does suck, and I think that's a big reason is because it's almost a hindrance to the game in a way. Like for example, for a short time I didn't remember my password for the Windows Live / Xbox Live thing.
Right.
Because if you actually pay attention, it's the same account,
Mm-hmm.
same password, same everything. So I couldn't sign in. So no, it was Batman Arkham Asylum, and I would not be able to save a game unless I signed into Windows Live.
Jesus.
I would not be able to play a single-player game with
you're
save.
right, because that's the same thing Dawn of War said as a sign in with your Windows Live, so you'll be able to save.
You can play if you want, but you will not be able to continue if you decide to stop playing the game. So basically, you have to play through the entire game at one time if you can't sign into Windows Live.
Yeah.
So that was, I think that's like a
so
major noose around the neck of a game. If if you're going to really tie yourself down to Windows or games for Windows or Windows Live or whatever you want to call it, that's kind of a, I don't know. I mean, it's no big deal for me now because now I have the automatic login thing, so it just does whatever it wants to, and I just don't even care. I just play. But yeah, I thought that was kind of an interesting restriction. Can't even play the single player without Windows Live.
Stupid.
Yeah. So, feedback.
If you have any feedback for us, email us at multiplaying@gmail.com. I didn't check iTunes reviews, but probably didn't get any, so it's alright.
Well, gentlemen, no point in hanging around this dump any longer.
Wait! Where are you going? I was going to make espresso.
Show's over, folks.
You can't go! All the plants are going to die. Take off, eh?
Thanks for listening to Multiplaying, the companion podcast at multiplaying.net. Questions, comments, feedback, errors, etc. can be sent to multiplaying@gmail.com. We invite you to write a review on iTunes and visit our website at www.multiplaying.net.
We've made a lot of friends, shared a lot of laughs, often at the expense of others.
I think some people are going to be upset.
Let me just close this conversation by saying you are one unique individual.
Thank you and good night.